All right, what's going on? Everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So this time around, we're going to be talking about the custom skin over here because after the 3.0 update, there is a big changes to what you can do with the custom skin. I think after this update, it's a lot more accessible to, let's say, people who does not have a lot of parts, because generally what you want to put on your skin is more like E skill based parts. So you don't have to cluster them up in your regular main build and sub slot. Reason being, I say that because you guys take a look at your build, just like your portrait 1 and portrait 2 slots, you notice that if you guys are doing like a straight build with no skins, you guys will notice that you guys will have 6 portrait slot empty, and that is a problem, right? Because of those 6 portrait slot, you can actually throw them, like whatever the EX skill is on that slot, you can just throw them in on here, and then they'll kind of replace it in a way. So think of a skin as something you kind of put over your existing comply, like your overall build. So whatever base, like in terms of like the main build sub slot, that is gonna get completely covered. Let's say for example, right now I'm wearing a skin, the Barbados Lupus Rex over here. So once I put the skins on any builds I will have, for example, right, that will just kind of be the whatever that thing is gonna be, and then whatever my main and sub slot build will completely be, just covered up by this thing over here. So what is the new update with the skin over here? You might ask. I would say it's one of the more profound update that we've done over here, because let's actually back out here. So let's say prior to the update, right? If you want to use parts that is on your skin, you were not allowed to do that because there's just a restriction on, right? You were just not allowed to do that. So now after the update, this is what you can do. So let me just see if I can find a I guess this would be fine, right? Let me just do this. So okay. So I clear up everything over here. So I have the Barbados Lupus equipped under the skin over here. You guys can see, yep, this is the skin we're looking at, right? Yeah, we have this on the skin. But after the update, you are now able to equip yourself any of the parts that will be in the skin. So let's say I want to equip myself with the Barbados Lupus arm over here, for example, right? Okay, this one, and then alter it. This one, right? Bam. Isn't this cool? Isn't this the best thing they did for the custom skin over here? So what you can do, whatever is on your custom skin, you are now able to use to just utilize it on your main build as well. So let's say I want to equip the Barbados backpack as well, and bam, there you go. And then you might ask, the next question you might ask, why is this a big change, right? Because like normally, I would say the skin is more of like an aesthetic kind of thing, right? So you can kind of like customize however you want. It will not really affect too much of your main build. Obviously, to a certain degree, in terms of a certain degree, I'm talking about some portrait that might want you to use a specific category of weapon. That is something you must kind of fulfill in terms of in your skins and whatnot. But why is this a big update for a lot of people who does not have, let's say, a good amount of parts? Because you guys ever notice that some E skills, let's say some arm parts, especially, does have some extremely high offensive numbers. Let's say this one over here. Or no, let me actually do this. What is my highest current? Okay. Let's consider that the unicorn right here, this unicorn arm. This unicorn arm right here has the highest stats in the game, or the highest melee stat in my box currently. Ignore this one, right? Ignore the one on top. So let's say this one is the highest one on top. I think most people in their mindset when building a team or just those 9 parts, I think the first thing that comes in mind, like, oh, let me go down here and then do swords, and then let's see what's the highest in my box, and then that's something I'll pick, right? So that's obviously fine, right? That is definitely something good to do. Because prior to the update, I would suggest a lot of people, if they had this one as E skill, I would suggest people to like, oh, equip this on your skins and whatnot. But people will come back to me saying, oh, I can't really put that on my skin because I need the arm for the stats taken, right? Because look at this arm. This arm comes with 4,000 or 9,412. Like, I need it, right? So post the update. What you can do now, you can do this. Let me just kind of erase this thing over here. Erase. Not only are you allowed or you're able to use that unicorn arm as a stat sticker, you're also allowed to use this on the EX skills over here. Look at this. Using the custom skin 5. Hello? Custom skin 5. That's right. Because I, okay, that's the problem. Because I am using this arm already, so I guess this is not a good example. Well, I guess it still is a good example because I do have it on my actual my own personal main build, so it'll just be over here. So look, you are now able to put this on your skin as well. So isn't that crazy? You're not, yeah, you're able to utilize the own stats, and then you're able to put this on your skin and actually use it. And isn't this a good system or a good update they have done? And then up next, I do want to address a little bit in terms of like portrait wise. I think every time when I do this kind of video, I do have the tendency of trying to go over a little bit of a you know, just a know-how, like what you guys should really do, because you guys can see nine parts or 9 portrait slot over here that you can utilize, 18 in total if you have alterated parts. I think as for alteration, I'll do another separate video because, like, you know, this 2-year anniversary probably attracted a lot of new players and just returning players that are really unfamiliar with like what is alterations and all that. So that is something I'll explain exclusively on the next video. But let's say this part is upgraded to a 6-star, so you do have access to a sub slot. I think I do see some people do this as well. So let's consider let me see, just for the example of this, let's say the Gundam Helios is my is the highest. Oops, the core issue over here. Let's say the Gundam Helios in my current box right now, this is the highest. Well, after filter it, this is the highest I will do, right? I think people do have a tendency of doing this as well. Like they might say, "Oh, look at the setup over here. I got a 10,000 like a stat over here with the sub slot and all that." They might think this is a good setup, but what they're actually missing out here is this. Where is your portrait? I think people don't really take into consideration a portrait. Like they don't really understand, or not that they don't understand, they don't know the full ability of like how impactful they are. I think they're not like seeing the full picture, I would say. So how good is a portrait? Let's take a look, right? Let's imagine I have a 17% portrait over here. Let's say when I have tech type or tech attribute, melee power boosted by 17%, right? Let's just say that for example. What does 17% do is more of like a multiplication. It's just multiplying onto whatever base, like my base raw melee attack is. So we're looking at 10,000 over here. So the formula is going to be that 10,000 times 1.17, or you can do it the long way, 10,000 times 0.17, and then you can add that back to that. But just in general, right, if you have a 17% portrait, that allows you to do more power. So that is something people do need to understand and take into consideration why you want to put stuff onto your skin. If you were to do a straight build, I think I can just kind of do like a demonstration right now as well, right? I think if I do like a custom build over here, you will see a problem like this, right? So I do have one EX skill equipped over here, and then I have everything filled up except this slot over here. Do you see a problem right here? What I could have done, right? What I could have done is equip myself with this portrait instead. Get another 19% EX skill boosting when I have ranged weapon. Isn't that something you want to do? Isn't that something that looks a little bit better in terms of like your overall power? I think this is something I'm gonna like probably continue to mention it because I still see people not really maximizing the portrait. Granted though, having 2 portrait is only meant for parts that have alterations and all that, which I will explain that in more details in the next video. I'll probably do another referral back to this over here. And then people might ask me or say to me, I'm not I'm not a person who spends money in the game. Like I don't think I have access to any of those good portrait. Then this is where you're wrong, because there are a lot of good for alteration part that has insane amount of good portrait. For example, I can just give you guys a few rundowns, right? You guys are asking like, ooh, like I don't have access to any of those parts, but this is where you guys are wrong. Again, if you just come down to, let me see, 5-star all traded, this one over here, N3 custom. This is a warfare part that received it a awakening or a alteration. Look at how good the portrait is. This is a completely free to play parts. Keep this in mind. Look at how good the portrait is, right? You get it when Infighter is active or when you hit Infighter job, buff EX skill effects up by 15%, and then also when buffed you get a melee power boosted by 30%. So you're gonna tell me, oh, low battery. So you're gonna tell me you can't get yourself a pair of these and slap this onto your build instead of slapping like the EX skills and not running a skin. This is just absurd, right? And then people are gonna complain about, oh, I'm not able to, like, oh, let's say complete such and such story missions and all that. But the option is right there. You just have to invest a little bit into these warfare parts. They are amazing. Let's say you don't have, all right. Granted, there is going to be a trick to this. This warfare alteration does not come back every time. It's more of like a periodic thing, like once a month. And these part, the N3 custom right now, we don't even know what is the next time we're gonna have. Let's say, is alteration rerun, so we don't know, right? So this is more of like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. I'm exaggerating, right? But you get what I'm saying, right? So these are part you want to be using, right? So I could be equipping myself with this one instead for the example of this. Bam. Look at this. You get yourself a nice clean portrait to boast that over here. Yeah, there is also so much more. Like I don't know, for a shooter base over here. Let's see. I think I do have a good example over here. This is by far probably the best free to play weapon to be using. This one is the beam rifle of the Hakishiki. This was, I would say, one of the earlier warfare alteration parts that you could have got. Look at how, I mean, the stat granted is not the highest, compared to your Sokais obviously, but look at this. Tell me where you can get another good portrait that is free to play. You get it when attacking with beam, EX skill power boosted by 25%, and then when using a mid shooter job, initial EX skill charge boosted by 20%. Where you can get this? Like, would you rather sacrifice to? Let me rephrase it. Would you rather not use this and then use the EX skill slot and not use the skin? If that even makes sense, but. I think the overall message I do want to bring it to the table right here is please use the skin. They made the skin a lot more easier now. You can put whatever your highest stat. The high like they allow us to put stuff in the skin, and then whatever highest stat parts you have that is the E skill base, slap it onto your skin, and then you're also able to use this on like your main build and subslot something that has a portrait, please. That is how you can do more power. That's how you can do more damage. That is how you can activate your E skill faster, and that is how you can like tank a little bit better depending on what kind of portrait you can be looking at. But there are also going to be some stipulation in terms of like what you want to equip to your builds, and obviously I can just kind of go over to my own personal build and just kind of explain a little bit over here. Let's say, do I have anything that right here that kind of restricts me from using something? Let's see. Let me take a quick look over here. I guess this is probably not the best example here, I guess. Yeah, this is not. Let me see. Maybe I'll go over to my actual melee build. So here is my actual melee build over here. I think a pretty good example up right here. Portrait. In terms of portrait wise, when lance category equipped melee power boosted by 30%. So what I need to do on my skin, for example, I will need to equip myself with a lance category weapon in order to just kind of activate that, right? Let's see. This is the one I'm using. This is my actual melee build over here, if anyone is wondering. So let me click on it, and you guys will see I did equip myself with a lance category melee weapon over here. And then another confusion people might wonder is like the skin. Does the attribute on the skin replaces it on the actual build? That does not. So let's say every part in here is a tech attribute. Just imagine everything here is tech attribute. This would not replace whatever whatever attribute is on your build, because the skin is just more of like a clothing that you personally wear. It does not really, let's say, hinder what is beneath it. But like I said, there are some stipulation where, like this one over here, like whatever that portrait needs you to do, that is something to kind of consider about. I can kind of give you guys another example as well, like coming down from over here. um, I'm gonna go over to my shooter build over here. If this were ever low, okay. Okay, so we are at my shooter build over here, and then some portrait you kind of have to look into over here, right? I think this one does have a lot of example I can just talk about real quick. This one I have to use a dual saber category weapon in order to get a shooting power boosted by 30%, and as for the second portrait, I need to use a twin rifle category in order to get the EXQ power boosted. Okay, so those are two stipulations I need to kind of fulfill on my skin in order to activate those portrait. And then there's some other one here as well, like when attacking with beam, shooting power boost by 22%, for example. So what you want to equip onto your build on your build, especially, is any ranged weapon that does do like a beam property, and then your melee weapon is like any of the beam category, obviously. So that is something you just kind of keep in mind as well as you guys are kind of building along. Just a little bit of the tricks and tips you guys just keep in mind and all that, right? Obviously, this video will be here forever. And then if you guys ever do need some reference, always come back to this video. I will also link another video probably in the earlier beginning of the video, just talking about what is the difference between like an 18 part trait over here compared to zero, nada, zero portrait, right? So you guys will see a huge difference compared to like 0% boosting, compared to, like, let's say roughly about 400% boosting. So I'll link that in the description and probably put that on like those on that upper right hand corner. So let's all go over here just for the last example right here, and then this will be pretty much it. I think I have covered a lot on the skin already, like in the prior video. This is more of like an update, just letting you guys know how the update has changed the meta and all that. So, as you guys can see, I do have myself a twin saber category weapon equipped, and then a dual weapon category equipped right here. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. And then a last funsy over here you can kind of keep in mind as well, right? This is more of like a really funny thing you can do. Let me go back to the custom squad over here, and then let me just filter everything out by the Barbados, for example, and then I'm gonna give you guys a little funny things you can do with this. Okay, Barbados, where are you at? This one over here. Okay, so I have equipped every part of the Barbados, just anything onto this part over here. And then if I just kind of go over here and equip maybe like a custom skin number 2, and then we can just do something like this, something like this, some sort like this, right? Yep. On the custom skin, so you can do this twice right now. This will not overwrite anything, so bam, custom skin updated. And then let's actually go back to where we at. Oops, not right here. We can kind of go back to the form squat, and then down right here. And then what you can do now is you can equip this. Bam. So you guys take a look at your squad list over here. This is not the best one to look at. Look at this. I have 2 Barbados Lupus over here, but keep this in mind, the second version does not have any combat power or whatsoever, because that is on the skin. So you're gonna have to actually equip something onto this, like a melee build, in order to kind of take benefit of that. Right here, this is like the main build, obviously. So this one, you have stat right here, obviously. So you can do your subslot and all that good stuff over here, right? Yeah, so this is more of like the funsy. You can kind of use 2 Barbados Lupus at the same time in a way if you want. That is something you can do. But this one down, or the first one over here, would not be having a skin. That is just a little stipulation right there. So So hopefully this video kind of explains to you guys just a little bit more in terms of like new players coming into the game, like really unfamiliar with the custom skin and like or wondering like, oh, how can do more power, like oh, I have such parameters already. That's one thing to keep in mind. Don't ever try to look at the combat power over here. The combat power up here does not really justify of like what you can actually do. I'm trying to just trying to look at your overall parameter stats and what kind of parts are you guys are doing. I think these two areas will give you guys a better overall overview of like what you can do actually. So with that being said, this will be pretty much it for this video over here, and then I will catch you guys all on the next one.